These videos, inspiring stories, form a very valuable set of videos that guide upon right conduct, philosophic thinking, human psychology, and spiritual life in general. As such, it will be an invaluable addition to the personal library of students eager to know more about the secrets of life on Earth and life beyond. The illusion before the eyes of man is so inscrutably constructed that not even the wisest of people have found it easy to extricate themselves from its powerful clutches, penetrating into the very vitals of one's being. This insistence on an interesting and important factor in the leading of the truly spiritual life is to be considered the explanation of these videos, commencing at the outset with a not much known but awakening message through the very first.
A landlord had built a fine bungalow at a cost of Rs. 4,000. It was the fruit of his savings over a number of years. He himself planned the house and had it built under his personal supervision. Now he suddenly began dreaming every night that the house had crumbled down. He was very worried and consulted the astrologers. They too confirmed that the building would not stand. There was no limit to his grief. His shrewd wife gave him an idea. He sold the house for Rs. 4,000. With the crisp 100-rupee notes, he went to live in a rented hut. He slept happily that night and woke up the next morning to hear that some mischief-mongers had set fire to his old house and that it had been reduced to rubble. He himself went over to the house and watched the spectacle with not a trace of grief. He was inwardly happy that he had sold it in time. The house was no longer his. He remembered the 100-rupee notes in his money box. His money. He ran back to his house. The nightmares returned. Thoughts of robbers kept him awake at night. He suspected his own brothers and even his sons. His wife came to his rescue again. On her advice, he deposited the money in the state bank and got the receipt. The next day there was a daring bank robbery, and it was reported that all the money had been stolen. But our landlord was not worried. He had his receipt with him. Fear once again began to haunt him. The thought that his sons might poison him and claim the money from the bank with the receipt began to obsess him. A holy man from the village came to him one day and pleaded for help to run the orphanage that had been established there. Taking that as the command of the Lord, the good landlord at once went in, brought the receipt, and handed it over to the sadhu as his contribution to the orphanage. A building was constructed in the orphanage in the name of the landlord. His reputation as a noble, generous man spread far and wide. People held him in high esteem. He had no fear now. He knew that, so long as he was alive, the people around him would make him happy, and that he could live in peace. He also knew that when he left this world, the charity and prayers of the orphans would stand him in good stead in the other world. Attachment brings grief. What you consider mine turns into your own enemy. From it springs all grief. When you detach yourself from an object, it ceases to worry you. Cut at the root of attachment. Treat everything as his. You will enjoy peace and happiness.